Way, pow, we're coming in hot. What's going on, everybody? Buffalo Will, cousin Vinny, and we got a
What
guest
up?
today, Marty from Intercept Your Lunch. What's going on, Marty?
Hey,
Uh,
What's up,
we have
Marty?
a we have a few guys coming in, so we're gonna start. We should have two more guys popping in for our show, going over our picks for the greatest players at certain positions. Again, this is our list who we think is the best at whatever position. So you could throw your comments, you could agree with us, say hell no, whatever you want. But that's what we're going to do. But we're going to give these guys a little bit some time. But we'll start off like we always do. What's up, Vinny? How's it going?
What's up? Oh
What's up,
man, good,
Marty?
good, good, good week.
What's up,
Survived
Marty?
out here.
Thanks for joining us.
yeah, not a problem. Always excited to jump on. Always glad to jump on. It's always a good time.
Yeah. All right. So, as we always do, we'll start off the show with a little brew. Vinny, you want to go first today? Or hold on.
Yeah,
We
man.
we got a guest. We got
Uh-oh.
a guest. Hold on, we got a guest.
Oh yeah.
Let's let the guest first. Marty, what do you got?
All right.
Drinking.
Well, the fridge was looking a little light today. My wife took my last Bud Light from me and used it on some kind of rib marinade, so I had to grab a Stewart's Black Cherry Spiked Seltzer.
Hey man,
All right.
that
Yeah,
sounds
no,
good. I like
Sports
those
did
spiked
that.
seltzers.
Yeah, Stewart's is a local soda distributor down here in York County, Pennsylvania. They do root beer. That's what they're known for. But this
Nice.
is some sort of spiked seltzer that they have. I have never had one of these before, so we're going to try it right now.
All right,
Go.
we got 3 sips. 3 sips in your rating from 1 to 5. You get 3 sips, and you can describe it.
By the way, that's John Delgado. For
Very
some reason,
sweet.
it's coming up as Facebook user. John saying 100%
What's up, John?
fire. What's up, John?
What's up, John?
Well, after finishing the third sip, it goes down smooth, but it is pretty sweet.
All right.
A little kick of sour with the black cherry, but I'll give it a
Okay.
3 out of 5. I'll give it a 3 out of 5.
That's not bad.
There you go.
No,
3
that's
out
not
of
bad.
5.
You know, I'm
Sounds
not
good.
too much of a fan of the hard seltzers, but lately I've been getting a couple. Well, actually, my wife got a couple. There's a Truly. I'm gonna bring one next week since I have some here. Now you opened up a can of worms now because we're
That's
just
right.
doing beers. Now I'm gonna start with seltzer, but it's all good, man. I appreciate said Stewart's black. What is it? Black
Yep,
cherry.
Stewart's Black Cherry Spark Seltzer.
You gave it a
3.
3.
Yep.
Nice.
I like the
Nice.
regular black cherry. So,
Yeah.
all right.
All right.
Got another guy. Go ahead, Vinny. We're gonna add Oz. Oz
Hey,
is
Okay.
over here.
guys.
What's up, Oz?
All
Right
right.
now we're getting our beer.
What's up,
Ozzy
Oz?
can't drink. Ozzy can't
My
drink.
beer.
Oh, he does
Okay.
have a beer. Hold on,
Oh,
don't open it yet. Wait. Oh,
Don't
you
open
opened it. Go ahead. Hold on. Vinny's gonna do his beer first. Then you take a sip.
Well, he
You give
already
it a
opened
rating,
it.
3
He
out of
already,
5.
hey, Will, he already
I'll
opened
wait.
it.
I'll wait.
All right, go
Oh, he
ahead.
didn't
Oz.
open
You
it?
opened
Okay.
it already. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What, you
Take
want
a
to drink
sip.
some?
Yeah. Well, that's.
It's a
you gotta
pale
skip it.
ale. It's our Hamiltonian drink this year.
Oh.
So
Nice. 3 sips and 1 out of 5. What you rate it?
this pale ale, it's in a local.
Yeah,
It's in a
3
local
sips.
brewery in Clifton. It's really good. I give it the best mark I could give it 5. It's really good.
Oh wow. What's the name of that again? I'm gonna write that down. Shoot, we never got a 5 on the show, so I'm gonna write that one down.
Brewing, man, over here in New Jersey in Clifton. It's beautiful.
Ghost Club
What's the
Brewery. I'm
brewery?
writing that down because I'm gonna get me some.
Yeah, it's
Gonna
good.
have to.
Good pale ale.
That's what's up. Nice,
All right.
nice. I got
Go ahead,
I'm
Vinny.
gonna try mine in. I got it's a Funky Buddha Floridian. This is a Floridian. I've had a couple different Funky Buddha Buddha brews. Hold on, that's a tongue twister. I've had a couple Funky Buddha brews before, but this one's a Floridian. I don't even know what to say. It's a Hefeweizen. Hefeweizen? I don't even know how to pronounce it, but I just thought then, you know me, I'm trying different stuff. So, all right. So you know about it. Let me take it. You know the drill. 3 sips. Let me see.
3. I take 1. Count 5.
I gotta get the flavor of it. This is not bad. Okay, it's a light wheat beer, 5.2. I actually like it. I give this a 4.2, man.
Whoa, that might be your
Again,
best rating so far.
4.2.
Yeah, it's sort of like it tastes like it's weedy, right? But it tastes like kind of like a Coors Light on steroids, if you will. It's a little bit strong. It's like a Coors Light, but a little bit more condensed. I like it. It goes down smooth. It's a 5.2. Yeah, man, I'm gonna give it a 4.2. It's the favorite, my best one yet. So you want to check them out? They're out of Lakeland Park, Florida. Check them out, Funky Buddha, man. There you go.
Funky Buddha.
Sounds good. All right, I'm about to crack mine open. I'm
Not
actually
bad.
looking at something first here.
What are you drinking? Coors Light?
No, I'm not drinking Coors Light, clown. All right, where am I? Sorry, I was trying to send another invite. All right, let me get into my handy dandy little cooler. And, I'm starting to run out of beers at my local liquor store. I'm going to have to find a new place to go to and have more variety. But I said, yo, where's Brooklyn at? Where's Brooklyn at? Where's Brooklyn at?
Uh-oh.
Brooklyn Summer Ale.
Brooklyn Summer Ale.
I've had a regular Brooklyn Ale before, and I kind of like it. So let's see. Cracking this bad boy open.
Sounds good opening up.
It's a little hoppy. It's 5% alcohol. Again, brewed in Brooklyn. And it's actually not bad. It's lighter than what they usually have. Actually enjoy it. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Right now, we're still waiting for Kenny from the K&K show. So we'll wait a little. We'll take another sip. Cheers to you guys. Cheers to the Bills fans. Cheers to all the NFL fans.
Salud.
Salud. And by the way, guys, we started this. We started this little thing that where we ranked the beers. But the first thing that we ever did in terms of beers was last season. We talked to each other. We said, hey, whenever the Bills win, we're gonna chug a beer.
Right.
So it was all cool and dandy till we got to like 6 wins in a row and stuff. Then there was no way we could. By the time the show was ending, we were all like tore up. I was like, man, I told them off there. I said, well, we can't do this because next year when we go 16-0, we're not even gonna get halfway through the show. So we're gonna have to switch it up a little bit.
No, okay, you don't have to worry about that one.
Well, it hurts too because Vinny's a truck driver and Vinny can't really have that many beers if he gets tested.
Before I go to work.
Yep.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
All right, here we go. Bam. We got our 5th guy, Kenny from the K&K show. What's up, Kenny?
What's up,
Hey,
fellas?
what's up?
How's it going? We didn't
What up,
start yet.
Ken?
Kenny, I don't know if you're working later, but do you have your beer?
I don't. I got my Turkey Hill.
Oh, you got Turkey Hill iced tea. All right. We'll forget.
Hey. We'll forget.
So,
As you guys can see, I'm still at work, so that's why I have this like totally
it's all good.
work
Okay.
stuff going on behind me.
So real quick, before we go to Bill's show, we really don't have much Bills news. The only Bills news is that Jake Fromm and Mitch Trubisky got married over the weekend. Besides that,
Nice.
the only thing else worth noticing is that West Virginia will retire Darryl Talley's number.
All right.
Pretty good. Darryl Talley was a beast, getting some recognition from his alma mater. And that's pretty much it as of right now. So let's start cracking. All right, like we all here. What was weird, I was thinking about it when I was coming back from my ride that we have a Washington football team fan. We have a New York Giant team fan. We have a Dallas Cowboy fan. I should have found a Philly guy, and we would have had the whole NFC East.
That's all I need.
Come on.
No,
That's the
we
best,
don't want the Philly guys. We don't want
Yeah,
that.
Phillies can stay home.
yeah, Philly are troublemakers. They throw snowballs at Santa Claus. I mean, come on.
That's true. So, what do you guys want to start off? Like I said, this is our opinion of the greatest or best player at every position. Do we want to start off with offense or do we want to start off with defense?
I think we should start with
Your call.
offense.
All right. Oh, look at this. We got Bobby chiming in. Bam. Oz.
What's up, Bobby?
All
What
right.
up, Bobby?
Like
So
in
we're
the
gonna
white
start
shirt. I'm feeling very festive. Pro Bowl. Let's go.
Pro Bowl. There you go. All right. So we're going to start offense. Let me flip my page over here. We got some time here. We want to start at quarterback.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah. most
All right,
important
quarterback,
position,
I
might as
guess.
well.
I guess we'll start from the top over. So I got Vinny first. So, Vinny, who would be your best quarterback of all
Oh my
time?
God, man! Jesus Christ, you put me on the spot. Thank God there's no New England fans here because they give me some crap. But I
Uh-oh.
don't know, man. I mean, yeah. You know where I'm going with this. I went with see, it was a toss up between Montana and Brady, but Brady after last year going with a different team and all the stuff that he's done in his career. I mean, as much as I can't stand him, as much as I'm glad he's gone out of the AFC East, I'm gonna say Tom Brady from the New England Patriots now with Tampa Bay. He's a great quarterback. Is he the greatest of all time? Like I said, I had him mixed up with Joe Montana, but I have to give it to him. He got 30 postseason wins, 207 regular season victories. I mean, 30 postseason wins. I don't think anybody's even close to that. So for that reason, I don't even know how many titles he got. What he's got, 6, 7 of them. For that reason, I got Tom Brady as the best quarterback.
All right, Marty, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to piggyback. I want to premise my entire selection from here on forward that I always pick players that I end up watching. So born in '93, from that point forward, all of my players will be from that era. Since Jerry Rice was probably the greatest wide receiver of all time. Joe Montana is in those conversations, but I unfortunately wasn't able to physically watch them, so I didn't get to see the greatness on the couch. So I always felt that I needed to do that. So with my pick, I'm going with cousin Vinny too, and 7 Super Bowls, Tom Brady. I know I'm probably hated on the Bill show for saying that, but that's what I had to go with.
It's all good. Go ahead, Oz. I guess we'll end up with Kenny. We'll go the whole circle.
All right. I went with Joe Montana.
There you go.
I think the man was one of the best quarterbacks ever to play the game. He won every Super Bowl he went to. So I just like him better. I mean, he had good teams, had great receivers, had great running backs also when he played, but he was always clutch. He always, did what he had to do. And he was 16-7 in the playoffs. So I'm going with old Joe Montana. I like him.
All right, Kenny.
Well, I did 2 like you thought you said we were going to do. So, but I had Brady as number 1, like cousin Vin and Marty. I got Brett Favre or Favre, however you want to say his name, as number 2. But because of these stats, Brady was a 4-time MVP, Favre 3-time MVP. 14 Pro Bowls for Brady, 11 for Favre. 70,500 yards passing for Brady, 71,638 for Favre, 517 in the touchdowns to 508, 207 victories for Brady, 186 for Favre. So Brady would clearly be my number 1 best, but my second that I've seen play would be Brett Favre. I did it as guys that I've seen play and remember seeing play.
Yeah, makes sense. But Oz could tell you that him and I used to have arguments about this. After Brady won his second Super Bowl, I said he was the best of all time, and we go back and forth. I was like, this guy won a Super Bowl the first time with wide receivers like were 2s and 3s. Montana had number 1s across the board. Had great running back, fullback, tight end. Brady didn't have that his first 2. The second one, I said all they need is a running back. They got Corey Dillon, and they won it. I mean, you can't take nothing away from the guy. He's a beast. If I was going to second, I probably would go with maybe Marino, even though he never won the big game. I love Brett Favre, but you can't take nothing away from Brady. I know he played a little bit in the old league. If he was playing in that league today, he would have been retired probably 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So it's a little different. Just imagine, like, Marino, even Montana's, Kelly's, Elway's numbers, if they played in this league today. Just imagine. Their numbers would be insane, But
I know Marty said that I know Marty said he's been watching since '93 on up. I'm a little bit older. I'm 51, so I'm like in the '80s era. So watching, I was really, really tight in terms of Joe Montana and Tom Brady because in the '89 season, I remember he in the postseason he had 11 straight touchdowns with no interceptions, and he had a passer rating of 146.9. So that almost put him over the top for me for Brady. But 7 championships for Brady, man, you can't deny the man. as much as I dislike the Patriots, and as much pain as I endured as a Bills fan playing against the Patriots of their domination of us, I got to give credit where credit's due. That's why I had chose Tom Brady.
And what's crazy, real quick, on the last day, I guess, he could have had 9 championships. He didn't lose the 2 to the Giants. Just imagine. Yeah. Insane. Besides him, what was it, Otto Graham? I never got to see Otto Graham, but I think he had, 6 championships or something like that? Mm-hmm. And he won a championship in the NBA. Guy was a monster. So, but I never saw him play. I didn't go look at no highlights for Otto Graham, so I'm not going to put him up there. So, on that note, anything else on quarterbacks before we move on?
One thing I'm going to say is Montana had 3 Super Bowl MVPs. Just remember that. When he was in Ford, he had 3 Super Bowl MVPs. So
and don't forget the likes of Peyton Manning and or Drew Brees as well for the younger generation that was watching football.
Yes, those are good quarterbacks, all of them.
I like Peyton. I wasn't a big fan. I like him more on his commercials.
Also, John Elway, who was a good quarterback, very good back in the day.
Awesome. Yeah, no, there was a bunch of good quarterbacks.
Yeah, there's way too many. I mean,
if they played in this league today, their numbers would be insane. Insane.
Yep.
Yeah. So
that's true. And by the way, Tom Brady had mentioned that he wanted as many rings as Phillip Rivers had many kids. And Phillip Rivers responded and said, at least he didn't cheat to get his.
Yeah. Tom didn't cheat. It would have been Belichick.
Wow.
So, this guy, too, I thought about him, but there's Bobby chiming in. Terry Bradshaw.
All yet?
For some reason, Terry Bradshaw gets no love ever. They always just give it to the defense. He had to score those touchdowns, too.
You know who's going to love? Jim Kelly. He went to 4 straight. He went to all those Super Bowls. Poor guy lost, but he was at 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
true.
Team.
He's up there. He's up there. He's up there in the top 5 for sure, man. Between Marino, Kelly, and even Bradshaw in there. Absolutely, man.
All right, we gotta move on a little.
I mean, he did the no huddle offense. All right, go ahead, man. Because we could talk. We could go into.
He got the K gun. We took it to the next level after Boomer. All right, let's move on to running back. Running back. Who's your running back, Vin? What happened? You quiet yourself there? Why'd you go quiet, Vinny?
He muted himself.
Because I got my dogs back there. I don't want him to ruin the show, man. I got the dogs, man. I had 2 choices, man. I did before my time a little bit, but I got to watch them, as little. One of them I got to watch as a little kid, but it was a tight race between Peyton and Jim Brown. But I'm gonna go with Walton Payton, Chicago Bears. He's a 9-time Pro Bowler. Retired with the most running yards as a running back. I'd take him as my number 1, man. He was hard to take down. Some of the highlight reel videos that I see with him, man, he's just one of them guys that you bounce off of, man. So with his numbers and I know it's a different era. He was a big running back, but Walter Payton definitely is my number 1 guy.
All right. You just went 1?
Yeah, well, my second one will be Jim Brown. So if you want to go both of them, or if you want to go around the horn.
That's fine. So you got Jim Brown, Walter Payton. I know Marty's probably not going to go there because he said he didn't see him. So go ahead, Marty.
Nope. My running back that I picked was LaDainian Tomlinson, LT. Most forget about him, but that 2006 season alone puts him in the top ranks. Yeah. I mean, over 30 touchdowns combined, 30 rushing touchdowns, 2,300 yards that season. Most MVP, offensive MVP. He won every award that year. He was a 3-time All-Pro, and just somebody who took those Charger teams and made them something.
All right, Oz. You only did 1, Marty?
Yeah, I only went with one running back.
All right. Go ahead, Oz.
I got 2 of them, and I watched them.
It's all good.
Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith.
Who was the first one?
Good call.
Barry Sanders, baby.
Okay, Barry Sanders. And Emmitt.
That man, if he did not retire at the age he did, he probably would have had all the records, like rushing yards.
Absolutely.
Probably would have had many more records than he had. 4-time rushing title winner. He MVP award twice. Then you have Emmitt, he was very consistent, never injured, played all the time. put up all the yards he had to, could catch the ball out of the backfield, block. He was all around back, and he won his 3 Super Bowls with the Cowboys.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kenny. Let's see. So, I like it that, I thought everybody was going to almost have the same people, and so far it's been mixed. So this is pretty cool. Go ahead, Kenny.
Running backs, I did have the same, but I had Barry Sanders number 1 and Tomlinson number 2. Getting to see Barry Sanders on Thanksgiving Day every year was just a pleasure to see him.
Yeah, man.
What he did every year on Thanksgiving. So we got to see him, and like Marty said with Tomlinson, that monumental 2006 year alone, right there with those touchdowns and Hall of Fame career, obviously. So those are my 2 guys that I remember watching and remembering quite clearly.
All right. I didn't go with Jim Brown. I didn't go with Walter Payton, even though I did see Walter Payton. I went with Barry Sanders as my number 1. But my number 2, I was a little torn, but I ended up going with Marshall Faulk because until Thurman Thomas, to me, Thurman Thomas was the best all-around running back until Marshall Faulk took it to the next level. So I had to give it to Marshall instead of Thurman. I mean, there was a bunch of running backs out there that you could put up there, but Barry, like Ozzy said, if he didn't retire, his numbers would have been insane.
Absolutely.
And like I said, Marshall Faulk, he was just a beast all around, catching the ball, running the ball. He was a monster. So I like that. I like that we have different guys. Moving on to fullback. I don't know if you guys looked for a fullback. I said, go ahead. Vinny, did you pick up a fullback?
Yeah, man. The one that always stands out for me, man. Even he was on a kind of a losing team at the time. I don't know. It's not me. I guess. I hope not. There you go.
That's all right.
All right. The one I'm going with is Mike Allstott from Tampa Bay, the A Train. He was a 6-time Pro Bowler, 1 Super Bowl. I mean, when you heard or anybody talked about Tampa Bay at the time, the only good thing you could hear talk about him was Mike Allstott. I mean, even I remember back in the ESPN days that he would just bowl through people, man. And for that reason, he was a beast. Like I said, a 6-time Pro Bowler. He got a Super Bowl with them, and he's one of my best. I think I got a couple down the line, but he's my best fullback, Mike Allstott.
All right, Marty, go ahead.
Yeah, I got to roll with Mike Onstad too. Funny story in youth football, I tried to get number 40 because I wanted to emulate the way he played, and he was great to watch on those Tampa Bay teams. Very versatile player.
Yes, sir.
Oz, I know who Oz has, but go ahead.
I got 2. I did 2.
Oh.
Tom Rathman from the San Francisco 49ers and Moose Johnston from the Cowboys. They're both great running backs that when they needed to run the ball, they both could catch the ball in the backfield. Both of them could definitely block and take, and help their quarterback protect their backsides. And they were just great players, and they had a toughness to them that a lot of people didn't have back in those days as fullbacks.
Go ahead, Kenny.
I'm with Vinny and Marty with Allstott 1, and 2 is going to be Rathman, like Oz said. 3 would definitely be Johnston. I mean, I think you guys nailed it, echoing your words.
So I was fighting because I like Mike Allstott. Mike Allstott was a beast. So I was going to pick him, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to pick him. And then, because I didn't even think he was that good of a catching fullback, and he actually was. Then I was like, Moose Johnson. I know Ozzy's going to say it, and I remember Tom Rathman. I know these guys are before Marty's time, except for, Allstott. But I went with another one, Larry Centers.
Oh,
that guy,
Larry Centers.
Larry Centers was
Oh, man. I forgot about him.
He could catch the ball. He was like a little battering ram, and he did play 2 seasons for the Buffalo Bills, too. So I had to give some love to Larry Centers. I think he was one of the better fullbacks out there, and he was in the league for a while too. I don't know if Marty got to see him his older age. Nah. He was around in '93, Marty.
He wasn't as good as he was before that, but he was good. He was around.
Yeah, check that out. Go ahead.
That's a great pick, Will. But I might be one of the oldest guys in the group. I'm 51 right now, but so I could actually I remember seeing this guy. I don't know if you guys remember him, Lorenzo Neal from the Chargers.
Yes.
He
Chargers.
was a
Lorenzo
monster. He was
Neal,
probably the greatest
41.
blocking. Yeah, yes, sir. Probably the best blocking back I've ever seen. Had 11 straight running backs go for 1,000 yards for 11 straight seasons. So that to me was one of the best attributes of him that in terms of being the best blocking fullback.
Best
But
blocking
in
fullback,
terms of
yeah.
versatility, blocking fullback. What did I say? Man, that BS probably getting me. Yeah, best
No,
blocking
you said
fullback.
it.
But
Yeah.
Mike also. Okay. He's the one that's bugging out then. All right. So he's the best blocking back in terms of getting 11 1,000-yard rushers behind him for 11 straight seasons. But Mike also is still number one because it's all around, like Marty said, versatile
Yeah, very
fullback.
versatile.
All right, real quick. By the way, in '93, that was Larry Center's 4th year in the league, so he was around a long time. He retired in 2003. Come on, Marty.
Yeah,
That's
I
because he was
don't
playing
remember
out
the
there
name.
in Arizona, I believe. That's where Center's words at first. So that's probably
Yeah.
why I didn't react to see him.
That's
He didn't
right.
show a lot of Arizona
Yep.
back then.
That's
All
right.
right. Now we're gonna see here. Give us your top 3 wide receivers. Go ahead, Vinny.
Oh, hold on, man.
Oh,
Top
we need-
3. Damn it,
You want
man.
Let me look at my stats. Hold
You-
on.
Go
Hold on a
go
second.
go around the circle.
All right, go ahead, Marty. We're gonna have to come back to Vinny.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Marty.
So
Yeah.
number one for me would be Randy Moss. I mean, 23 touchdowns in one season, still holds that record. Still holds a record for rookie receptions, 17. He was dominant for the Vikings, but those years with him and the Patriots and Tom Brady just really solidified that for me in terms of just watching him dominate on the outside. My number 2 would be Larry Fitzgerald. Again, he's got eight seasons of 90-plus receptions. And, I mean, we've got 5 people here tonight. I think I can name Kurt Warner and I guess Kyle Murray, but there's a lot of no-name quarterbacks who are down there in the desert, and he still produced, which I took that into consideration as well. Some of these guys were, with great quarterbacks, and some of them weren't, and they still were productive. My third, I was in a toss-up, but I'm going to go with Terrell Owens. He was controversial all around, on and off the field, but that year that he had with Philly and Donovan McNabb, he pretty much single-handedly – there he is. He pretty much
T.O.'s, man.
T.O.
T.O.'s.
He was the MVP that season for that team and maybe possibly potentially for that league. I mean, he pretty much limped them all the way to the Super Bowl. And my 3B, I'll say, is Calvin Johnson, just for the sheer fact of his numbers there
Oh, yeah.
with terrible quarterback play
Yeah,
before
man.
Stafford.
Go ahead, Oz.
All right. As number 1, I went with Jerry Rice. The man was amazing. Best route runner ever in the game. All hands were anything thrown in his direction, he caught. It was like he barely dropped the pass. The man was just, and he was always open. Didn't matter. Whoever was covering the double team, whatever, he was open. My second guy is a guy who didn't play very long in the year, but I know if he played, he would have had great numbers. Sterling Sharp, the Green Bay Packers. He was an amazing receiver. Until he had that injury, he could have put up amazing numbers. The year before, I think he had 100 catches. The year before, 110. Set the NFL record at that time, I believe, for receptions that year. And yards, I think. The other guy, I got to stay with my Cowboys, Michael Irvin, for his toughness. He was a good receiver. Very good in his day. Can't say it. Always open. Number 1 receiver, tough. Over the middle guy. He'll catch the ball more you throw to him. Also, those are my 3 guys. I got to stay local with the Cowboys. Come on.
Go ahead,
your
Kenny.
man Andre
We'll
Reed
go
almost
to
made my
Vinny
top
after
1,
you,
Will.
Kenny.
I'm going to go with Jerry Rice, number 1. Just like Oz said, the career he had, 13 Pro Bowls for a wide receiver is unheard of. I know he played a lot of years, but that's unheard of. Almost 23,000 yards, almost 200 touchdowns. Number 2, which nobody said yet, Marvin Harrison for me.
Yeah.
8 Pro Bowls, almost 15,000 yards. A number 4 all-time leader in receptions. Hall of Fame career. Of course, he had Peyton Manning throwing him the ball, but made Peyton Manning's life a lot easier with him and Reggie Wayne over there. But that'd be number 2. And I didn't have a 3, but if I had to pick a 3, Randy Moss. Randy Moss would be my number 3.
All right, Kenny. Go ahead, Vinny. I'll finish up.
Yeah, man. I like the way y'all mix it up. I pretty much got the same thing as you guys. I didn't think Marvin Harrison was gonna be mentioned. I was kind of hoped to spoil everything, but Kenny, I believe, was the one that mentioned him. He's number 1, 2, 3. I'd say Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, and then I got Marvin Harrison. But if you want to go statistically, and if you want to go, from back in the day type stuff, which I really like watching old style football, you got to go with Raymond Berry. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him for the Baltimore Colts, but I'm still sticking with those 3: Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, and Marvin Harrison, my top 3.
All right. So I had a little thing here, and it was the same as Kenny. Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, and I was surprised. I didn't think nobody was going to say Marvin Harrison either. I wanted the Bills to draft him. Never did. But Marvin Harrison was the guy. I agree with Ozzy. I wanted to put Sterling Sharp, but he didn't finish his career because of the injury. He was the only guy that would beat Deion Sanders. He would toast Deion Sanders.
Yep.
Deion Sanders really couldn't stick him. So it's just a shame he got hurt and he couldn't finish out his career. So Marvin Harris, I was surprised. And
I did watch a lot of AFC games, even though I'm a Giant fan. Of course, I was best friends with Kurt. Used to go to his house and watch all the Bronco games. And the AFC games were always on, the AFC game of the week. And there were a lot of Colts games on. So that's why I got to see a lot of Marvin Harrison, thanks to Kurt.
I wanted Marvin Harrison to go to the Bills, and I actually wanted them to draft McNabb because I was a Syracuse fan back then. Didn't happen. Didn't get either one.
Sterling Sharp had 65 touchdowns in only 112 games.
Yeah, he was a beast. The guy was a
595 receptions in 112 games. The guy was a beast. 8,000 yards. If he would have played his full career, he would have had big numbers and probably be in the top 3.
Oh yeah, I think he would have.
Especially with Favre.
Especially with Favre. Forget it. Bobby, if you're listening, we're having some issues, so you might want to check it up. It's a Periscope, whatever. Tight ends. Vinny, who you have your best tight end?
Man, it was a tight one, but I like Tony Gonzalez. Did we have to pick 2? I picked 2, but I don't know if you want. Did you pick 1 or
That's
do you want
fine.
to pick 2?
Go ahead. No, you can say 2.
All right, Tony Gonzalez, man. He was the man. Okay, Tony Gonzalez. I'll say it real quick. If you ever watch him play, he transitioned from a basketball player to tight end. Revolutionizing the position in terms of tall receivers and tight ends. He played 276 games, 1,325 catches, 15,127 total yards, and 111 touchdowns, opening up the doors for the likes of Rob Gronkowski and so on and so forth. And my second one is Antonio Gates. I don't know if you guys remember him from San Diego. Another great player, 236 yards, 905 catches, and 116 touchdowns. So those are my 2 I got. Antonio Gates and Tony Gonzalez. That's my number 1.
I had the same exact 2. The only comment really is for Tony Gonzalez. 14 years he averaged 70 catches, 900 yards, and 7 touchdowns. That's just solid right there.
Go ahead, Oz.
Oh, okay. I went with where's my piece of paper here? Oh, okay. I went with Tony Gonzalez, of course. Everyone said him. And my second guy was Shannon Sharp. Used to play with Elway. The guy was 4-time All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler, 4 first teams. He had 62 touchdowns. His yards per catch was 12.3, very similar to Gates, who had 12.4. The guy, to me, was probably one of the best tight ends at his time. So I took him. And, of course, Gonzalez. Can't go wrong with him.
Is Kenny going to have Mark Bavaro? Go ahead, Kenny.
No, actually, we're going to have Gonzalez. That was probably the easiest one out of the whole thing was Tony Gonzalez with a runaway. But it pains me to say this. I got Jason Witten, number 2.
Nice.
And Marty might be able to relate to this, but I know against the Giants, he only had 4 1,000-yard seasons. He was a 10-time Pro Bowler, but he made all the important catches. Whether it was Romo as his quarterback or Prescott, you needed 5 or 7 yards, you were getting it from Jason Witten. The guy didn't have flash and speed, but he always found a darn way to get open and get that first down and continue to drive. And, of course, in the red zone, he was also a good red zone target. So for that reason, I put Jason Witten up there. But my heart wanted to go with Bavaro, but I got to go with Witten.
I wanted to say, I was tossed up. I was like Tony Gonzalez, yeah, or Shannon Sharp, like I said, or Antonio Gates. Those were gonna be my picks. But Witten is a beast, also. I should have said Jay Remusma, the redheaded beast, but I'd be hamming it up. There's not gonna be
I
any
liked him.
hamming here.
I like Jay Remusma. He wound
No,
up
he
over
was
there
good.
with Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I
he was
liked him. He's
good.
one of my favorite tight ends, man.
Yeah, he was good, but he wasn't a top 5.
I mean,
All
nobody
right.
said Rob Gronkowski. Come on, guy's
That's true
good.
too. That's true. Uh, the less favorite or people who don't get any shine or love. Let's hit the offensive lineman. Here we go. I mean, I don't know if you guys want to do it. I just did left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, and right tackle. I know
Yeah.
some of
didn't
you
do it
guys
like
might
that.
just have tackles. Vinny, who do you got?
We could
And
just
left
go down
tackle,
the
let's
line
say.
from center. Okay,
All right, go
left
ahead.
tackle.
I just picked guys I want.
Go ahead,
Anthony,
left tackle.
I got
Go.
Anthony Munoz from Cincinnati. Anthony
Yeah.
Munoz, left tackle, all pro 9 times, 11 Pro Bowls. Man was a beast. Anthony Munoz, hey, it was around my time growing up, so I got to enjoy him play.
Go ahead. Just keep going. Put your 5 out there. Go ahead.
Okay, my right tackle is Forrest Gray. Is way back in the day guy. If you guys know anything about old school football, AFL football, he played for the Green Bay Packers. 5 NFL championships, 188 consecutive games played, 9 Pro Bowls. This guy was a beast back in the day. He was for the Green Bay Packers. Okay, what do you want me to do? Guards now? I got a guard. Okay, I got a guard. Gene Upshaw. I'm going to go down the line. I'm going to go 2 offensive tackles, 2 guards in the center, okay? Guard Gene Upshaw from the Raiders, 6 Pro Bowls for the Raiders. And I got another guard, Randall McDaniel. I know our quarterback over there from Minnesota. If he's probably watching, he's probably jumping up and down. Loved him for the Vikings. 9 All-Pro selections. Never went to a Super Bowl. But if you remember him back in the day, he was just a monster. He was a beast. He was really aggressive. It's kind of like a bad guy kind of thing. But I like the way he played his style. And for center, another guy from back in the day is Jim Otto for the Oakland Raiders. 308 consecutive games played is what stand out for me, man. Guy was just a beast, steady. And for that era of football, hard-nosed football, to be in 308 consecutive games, that to me is awesome. So there goes my guys right there.
Go ahead, Marty.
Yeah, I'll go down the line. Left tackle, Orlando Pace for the then St. Louis Rams. 7 out of 8 seasons in his prime. He played all 16 and blocked for the greatest show on turf. Left guard, Alan Faneca. 201 of 206 games played. 9 Pro Bowls, 6 All-Pros. Center, Olin Kutz from the Bears. 12 seasons there. He was solid. Almost played every game for those guys. Right guard, kind of a younger guy, but I think he deserves this spot. Marshall Yanda for the Baltimore Ravens. From 2009 to 2016, there wasn't anybody really better in that position, and I think a future Hall of Famer. And right tackle, although he didn't play right tackle, this guy needs to get his credit. Joe Thomas, Cleveland Browns, 10 straight seasons of playing 16 games, played over 10,000 snaps in a row. And he was just solid for probably the worst era of a football for a franchise in recent history.
All right, Oz, go ahead.
All right, listen, I didn't put him in any position. I'm just taking the top 5 linemen I like.
All right.
Anthony Munoz, as everyone said. So no need to go into that too much. I went with Larry Allen from the Cowboys. He was a big monster. He moved everybody around. Had no problem. He was very good in line. Helped Emmett get all those rushing yards he had in his career. Also, I liked Bruce Matthews, who played for the Oilers. He played center and guard. He moved around. He was one of the top guys on the line always. I want to go back to a player back in the old day. John Hanna used to play with the Hogs. Washington Redskins, one of the best blockers for the Hogs. And, he was a big guy because he would also play fullback, come out and pull out for, and block for Riggins and whoever else was going out there at the time. And my last guy is Jonathan Ogden. That played for Baltimore. Beast on the line.
Very good play.
Pounds, 6'9", 340, something like that. Opening holes for everybody. So those are my 5.
Go ahead, Kenny.
Yeah,
did
and
mine
you guys
Oz,
notice
like,
every position, and you guys notice every single position Oz has a Dallas Cowboy player in there.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it for tight end. Not for
No
tight end.
No tight end.
Hey, I mean, Larry Allen was a beast in his day for the Cowboys.
Yeah, he was. Go ahead, Kenny.
I did mine like Oz. I did 5 linemen. I didn't do exact positions. Munoz was my number 1. I had 3 similar to Oz. I had Munoz, Bruce Matthews, and Jonathan Ogden. The 2 guys that Oz didn't have that I added was on Marty's team, one of the Hogs, Joe Jacoby,
Oh, yeah, he was great too.
and center Mike Webster, who nobody said.
Yep.
I haven't seen him play, but I got to throw Mike Webster in there. I've seen highlights of him, and I got to give Mike Webster the center position.
So the way I went with the 92 Buffalo Bills offensive line. That's it. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. Actually, Kenny and Ozzy and I pretty much almost have the same guys. Left tackle, I couldn't remember if he played left or right. Anthony Munoz. I know this is before Marty's time. It's kind of funny listening to Marty, because he's putting all the guys from 93 up, even though he forgot some of these good guys. At left guard, I couldn't remember if he was left or right guard. Larry Allen, like I said, that offensive line was a monster. They had the best offensive line in football for the longest time. A guy
Shoving
nobody
everybody
said,
around, man.
yeah, a guy nobody said at center, which I was surprised, which the Bills had to face him a lot, was Kevin Mawai. Kevin Mawai was a monster for that Jets team. Was it Kenny Anderson running the ball or whatever his name was? That guy, I hated him. He was a beast. Right guard, like Ozzy said, Bruce Matthews, and Kenny also said, I believe. Guy was out there for the longest time. He played, I think he missed like 6 games maybe or something like that in his career. And he was a monster. And then at right tackle, I went with Jonathan Ogden, like I said as well. Guys.
Yeah,
So
Bruce Matthews was a center also. He went to center for a while. So
yeah, but I think he was guard at first.
Yeah, and then he went to center, and he was monster. At center, he was even better than at guard.
That guy was just great. A beast. A beast. All right, so now we're going to move on to defense. By the way, I don't know if you guys pick kickers and punters. I forgot to pick
forget those guys.
Marty did.
I did it.
Great guy.
That's special teams.
Best kicker ever. Great guy.
If anybody says anybody other than Adam Vinatieri, they're wrong. So we'll just move forward.
Oh, damn. All right, hold on.
Steve Tasker for a return guy.
I don't know about that. You had Deion Sanders. Come on.
You got Devin Hester.
Yeah.
Pac-Man Jones, baby. Pac-Man Jones.
Boom. All right, let's start off with left ends. I don't know. I did left end, right end. The top 2 guys. Everybody's probably going to have the same guys except for Marty.
Oh, man.
So
bro.
I guess we'll go to Vinny. Vinny, who are your top 2 guys? I want to know one. Hold on. Wait. I want to know 1, then 2 for defensive end. So go ahead, Vinny. Who's your number 1, and then who's your number 2?
Okay. My number 1, man, got to be the Reggie White, man. Green Bay Packers. I mean, it's kind of, yeah, man. And I mean, you want me, just because I'm wearing the Bills thing doesn't mean, I can't give props. And my number 2 is Bruce Smith. I mean, it's a tight run, but, I got to go with Reggie. Man, all-time leader in sacks. He could play anywhere up front. That's the difference between him and, Bruce Smith every now and again would change, but, Reggie White was everywhere, man. He was a beast. I got to give props for props.
Hold on.
But Bruce Smith is my close second.
Bobby, I need a new co-host.
13-time All-Pro. 13-time All-Pro, Reggie White.
Hold on, Ozzy, it's not your turn.
Sorry. I'm helping him out.
You tell you mind your business, Ozzy.
Go ahead, Marty.
That's what I'm sticking with, man. Reggie White, Bruce Smith.
All right, but my 2 for defensive end, number 1, Dwight Freeney. Indianapolis Colts. Peyton Manning gets a lot of praise during that era, but he was an awesome defensive end for those guys. And number 2, I know you guys seen him a lot, Jason Taylor for the Miami Dolphins. He's 7th all-time in sacks, Hall of Famer. Yeah. He was a solid guy there, too, as well.
And by the way, for anybody who's watching or listening, Marty's only going off from 93 on.
93
That's
on.
why he's picking these guys.
He's a new school.
That's
He's
right.
doing the new
Kill
school
him.
stuff.
Guys.
Don't try to kill the poor guy. But go ahead, Oz.
I'm going with the same pick cousin Vinny pick. That's it, man. Those are the best guys. Bruce and Reggie, those guys were dominant on their end. The only other person I could think about maybe on end, if I throw in two, maybe like DeMarcus Ware,
Lawrence.
more recent,
Oh,
and maybe
yeah.
Deacon Jones from back in the day.
Yeah, Deacon Jones was a beast.
That's
All
a good
those guys,
call.
I mean, the older players, but I
Yeah.
mean, Reggie White, Bruce
He's
Smith.
definitely a top 5.
Yeah, Reggie White and Bruce Smith, definitely the two number one ends ever in the game right now. You know, up to now, even the newer guys are not as good as they were. So, I mean, that's basically it. You can't go with any other two, really.
Go ahead, Kenny.
Yeah, man.
I really wanted to go with a Giants guy here in Strahan, but I couldn't. I got Reggie White and Bruce Smith. The only argument is Bruce Smith over Reggie White because, I mean, I watched Bruce Smith
Bobby.
when he went to Washington.
Bobby, we're going to need another co-host for the K&K show now.
I want to co-host with Will a little more, so I'm going to say Bruce Smith over Reggie White.
Thank you. Vinny, you're moving on to our show. Vinny's going to the K&K show. That's
We'll do a little
it.
trade. There we go.
Look at Willow. I
He
mean,
went to the Washington. Then they were the Redskins, and he tortured us for those couple years. So even at his old age, he still,
that's right.
did it for those last couple of years. So I'll take
Vinny.
Bruce Smith.
Thank you. It's about time somebody out here has some brains. Look at even my cat Luna came up here to look at you, Vinny, like, what the hell are you thinking?
Well, let me get a quick. Here's a
Listen.
stat that caught me: 43 forced fumbles he had in his career. Bruce Smith. It's crazy as a defensive lineman.
The thing is that bothers me is not even, I don't know why Vinny's not saying. Listen, Bruce played defensive tackle. He played left end. He played right end. He played in a 3-4. He didn't play in a 4-3 really until when he went to Washington towards the end of his career. And you can't name all the guys Bruce played with along that line that could compare to Reggie White, especially in Philly.
Yeah, he had help.
Reggie White had a nasty four guys in Philly.
Yeah,
You
but
know.
Reggie White made those guys better. That's why they were so good because everyone was doubling Reggie.
But that wasn't true because you had, what was it, Pat Swilling over there. You had Brown, I think it was the guy. I forgot the other defensive tackle. They had a nasty front four. Bruce, until he had Phil Hansen later on in his career, he was playing like with Jeff Wright. And I couldn't even really remember the other guys.
Who'd you say?
Jeff Wright was good.
Guys. Well, I'm trying to see if I
Jeff
find any
Wright
of them
was
in
a
here.
small
Jeff Wright was
defensive
good.
tackle. He was good, but he was a
And
small
Hansen
defensive
was
tackle.
good.
Hansen played well, yes. Hansen was
Yeah.
good. But I
They're
mean,
not
he
in any of
still,
my paperwork. I don't see them. So
he
not
still
that good.
played in the 3-4. So just imagine if Bruce would have played his whole career in 4-3.
So you're saying, hey, Will, so you're saying
would've had way
if
over
Bruce Smith
200
had more help up front, he would be better than Reggie White?
Yeah. If Bruce played his career in a 4-3 defense, he would have had at least probably 20 more sacks. Easy. At least.
I mean,
Bruce had 2 more career sacks over.
But the guys
Reggie.
you mentioned were pretty decent.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
didn't
and that
Bruce
was-
play like 4
Yeah, I
more
remember when he
years
broke
than
it.
Reggie White?
He did towards his end of his career. He played in a 4-3 barely. But just
Played
imagine
4 more years.
if he played
The Washington.
4-3 his whole career.
Yeah,
He would have torn it up. He would have had more sacks than that. 3-4,
I mean-
4-3. And again, he played all over the line. There was times he was at defensive tackle, left and right end. Reggie pretty much played the same spot the whole time.
I guess, but I still think they're both good players. It's not
Oh, yeah.
you can't
Close,
go wrong picking any of them. I mean,
No.
those two guys are the most dominant defensive ends during their time, and if they play now, they still be doing the same thing they did back then.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And they were at the same era they were playing also. So it was a
they
lot
played
of
the same
comparison
amount of
to
years,
them.
basically. Yeah, same time.
Will,
Vinny.
you're gonna have to get Bruce Smith on to defend his case against.
He always
Van
says
and
it. He always says, I never played in the 4-3. He's like, I played in 4-3 towards the end of my career, which is true. Defensive tackles. I ended up picking 2. Vinny, go ahead, even though you should take off that
I
shirt.
did too.
Vinny.
Oh, God. Here we go. All right. I got 2. I got William Perry, Refrigerator Perry. It's probably around a little bit earlier than Marty's time. It was like in the 80s, late 80s, when they had that Chicago Bears Super Bowl team. And they used him as a fullback. I don't know if you remember that when in goal line situations they used him as a fullback too. One-time Super Bowl champ, 29.5 sacks in 138 games. I'm getting a little bit of feedback, so don't bear with me while I'm
Yeah,
talking.
somebody's loud.
I don't know if somebody has their phone on or something, but I'll work through it. So that's my number one guy, is William Refrigerator Perry. My second guy is another guy that used to tear us up. And he was from the New England Patriots, was Richard Seymour. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champ, 3 Pro Bowls, 57.5 sacks, and 500 tackles, 496 tackles. He used to tear us up back in the day. So it always remember, just like Marty said, some guys that you always watch, and that was the guy that always stuck out to me that would tear the Bills up. So I give him the number 2 spot, Richard Seymour.
Go ahead.
By the way, I turned my speaker volume down, so if it's still getting feedback, it's not me.
Yeah, I turned mine down too. So
I turned mine down too. So
Good deal.
Right.
I got my headset on, so I don't hear it now. I hear it's perfect
Marty.
now.
Yeah, my 2. Don't rip me, guys, too hard again. My number 1 would be Aaron Donald. He's already there for me.
He's a beast.
3-time Defensive Player of the Year, and then number 2 would be Warren Sapp for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Defensive Player of the Year in '99, 4-time All-Pro, and Super Bowl champ, Hall of Famer as well.
Good call. That's a good
I
call.
also picked Warren Sapp. He had 100 career sacks. The guy was a monster during his time. He dominated the middle when he played. He's one of the most feared players during his time. So I really liked Warren Sapp back then. My other guy is a Cowboy player. Vin, you like this one?
I know. I knew it.
You
Go ahead.
you might know because you're as old as I am. Randy White, number 54 for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, sir.
One of 3
Yes, sir.
defensive tackles who won MVP during the Super Bowl. 3 defensive players, defensive linemen who won the MVP. Randy White. And unofficially, his numbers were 1,104 career tackles and 111 sacks during his career. That's his unofficial number. The guy was a monster when he played, and he dominated the middle.
Yes, sir.
He shut people down for the Cowboys. That's why they're called, doomsday defense back then.
Go ahead, Kenny.
I got Warren Sapp like everybody else, but I got somebody new as well. I got John Randall in there. 7 Pro Bowls, played 219 games. He had 137 sacks. Hall of Famer. Out of the guys I seen, monster interior lineman. Always, he had that eye black, intimidating player on the defensive side. If I was a quarterback or a running back getting ready to run through the hole, I'd be a little nervous. So, Mr. Randall is on my list as number 2.
I like Randall. I didn't put him down. I was considering him, but then I went, like everybody, Warren Sapp. But I went with somebody different way before Marty's time. I was a little kid. Surprised nobody said that. I knew I was going to go with White, but I went with his opposing guy they faced a few times, Mean Joe Green.
Mean Joe.
I was surprised nobody said Mean Joe Green. I mean,
Wasn't
especially
Green like a defensive lineman?
But they had him as defensive tackle. So when I saw that, I was like, I got to go with Mean Joe Green.
Okay, I thought he was more like tackle. Lineman, but at the end, but okay.
Well, I went online. I was like looking up top 10 defensive tackles, and they had Mean Joe Green. And I was like, all right, I got to go with Mean Joe then. If not, I probably would have went with Randall, like Kenny said. I know White was a beast. The problem is, like Marty, the old players, they weren't really keeping their stats and sacks and stuff. So we don't know like how many sacks Deacon Jones had.
You had to watch the games, man,
players.
to know that.
Yeah.
The older players, you had to watch the game and see how they control the games, man, for sure.
Yep. So that was it. I ended up going with Mean Joe because they had him as a defensive tackle.
That's cool. That's a good call.
I probably would have went with Randall. Left outside linebackers. I just got to ask Kenny, did LT play left side or right side?
More to the right side. He lined up on both sides, but more to the right.
He did.
All right, see, I
Yeah.
had it backwards.
If
All
I,
right, go ahead, Vinny.
I'm just gonna go with my Sam Will. And I'm just gonna go all three of them. I didn't go left or right. I just picked my best linebackers I thought would be the best to plug in the middle. I have Ray Lewis from the Ravens. He's a Hall of Famer. Everybody knows him. Uh, 3-time Super Bowl champ. I got Lawrence Taylor with the Giants, 10-time All Pro, 10-time Pro Bowler, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. And I got Junior Seau. Rest in peace, man. He was a game changer back in the day. It's probably Marty's time back in the late 90s, early 2000s for the San Diego Chargers. A great player, great person. It's a shame that he fortunately committed suicide back in, I believe, 2009 or something like that. But he was 10-time All-Pro and 12-year Pro Bowl. He was a 12-time Pro Bowler. So those are my guys. I got Ray Lewis, Lawrence Taylor, and Junior Seau as my 3 linebackers.
All right, Marty.
Okay, my 3 linebackers did a couple different defensive styles. First, I'm going to throw him here. Oz will like this one, DeMarcus Ware. He was a great pass rushing. We'll call him a linebacker. I know that they played a couple different systems down there in Dallas. With Cousin Vinny, Ray Lewis. I mean, he was the face of that franchise. Super Bowl wins. He was just very motivational as well on and off the field. And another outside linebacker, different kind of style, Derek Brooks, Tampa Bay. He was more of that Tampa 2 cover. He was great in coverage, and just remember him in the Super Bowl being dominant against the Oakland Raiders. So it would be my 3 linebackers.
All right. I picked Lawrence Taylor and Ray Lewis, just like Cousin Vinny. But I also wanted to throw in another middle linebacker that I really liked. I didn't get a chance to. Mike Singletary. So, Ray Lewis, my guy, but Mike Singletary be my number 2.
Chicago Bears.
Number 1. He was a monster.
Yeah,
he was a small guy. Came out of Montclair State over here when it was Montclair State, not Montclair University.
Oh, yeah.
And he played like a big beast, and he was only like 5'8". He was a little guy. Made all the tackles for the Bears in that 46 defense. He was great.
Yep.
Other guy I wanted to put in was Derek Thomas from the Kansas City Chiefs. He was the only guy who had 7 sacks in one game. I think he leads with like 126 and a half sacks or 127 and a half sacks as a linebacker. So, I mean, that guy was a monster during the time. Those are my 3/4 because I put Lewis and Singletary basically the same number. They were both great at that position.
Good, Ken.
I did mine as a 3-4, and I thought I was going to be able to talk about Derek Thomas, but to the very end there, Oz mentioned Derek Thomas. I had Derek Brooks and Junior Seau as my inside linebackers. And Derek Thomas, I believe, is the only guy you can compare to Lawrence Taylor as a talent.
Yeah, in terms of rushing. Yeah, man.
10 Pro Bowls, 9 Pro Bowls, 132 sacks, 126 sacks. But rest in peace, Derek Thomas, game changer. Lawrence Taylor, you guys get a chance, go on YouTube. I know I sent this to Bobby one time. And watch the video where Buddy Ryan sent a bounty out for Lawrence Taylor. Ron Jaworski was the quarterback. Taylor found out the next 2 plays, sack, Buddy Ryan. And they show Buddy Ryan's face, and John Madden was the announcer, so you can only imagine the things he said, which I don't want to spoil. But go watch that. If anybody's out there listening, you will not be disappointed. It's like a 3 or 4 minute video. Buddy Ryan's bounty against Lawrence Taylor. That's what you got to tag is Lawrence Taylor, bounty, Buddy Ryan. You will not be disappointed.
I mean, everybody named the guys I said. Everybody said Lawrence Taylor. He was a monster. Do I like him? No. But on the field, he was a beast. You can't take nothing away from the guy. Probably the best linebacker all around. Lawrence Taylor. Middle linebackers, I had Ray Lewis. I was arguing with myself, fighting myself, like, do I pick Mike Singletary or Junior Seau? I ended up going like Oz with Mike Singletary. Mike Singletary was a monster. The guy was a beast. He would hit anybody. He was a thumper. He could cover. He could stop the run. He was a monster. Junior Seau would have been my second option there. And right outside linebacker, I wanted to go Derek Thomas, but I didn't. I ended up going with Derek Brooks as my outside linebacker. Guy was
It's a good call.
all around monster too. Derek Thomas struggled more in pass coverage than Brooks did, but Thomas was a monster at rushing on the edge like LT. So I agree with you guys on all those. And then I wanted to say like Dick Buckus, but
Nick Buckus,
Dick Buckus was a monster.
monster.
different times.
Monster of the
Marty,
midway.
you want to see some crazy hits? Different. You go watch those guys play middle linebacker. They were ripping people's heads off. You muted yourself.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I watched those 85 Bears.
Those guys were just decapitating people in the middle. It's totally different. We're gonna move to corners. I struggled with some of these corners, so I want to see what everybody else has out there. Vinny, we'll start with you. Who'd you have for your top 3 corners?
My 3? Man, for number 1, all right, I go 3-1. For my cornerback, my third cornerback, I go with Rod Woodson from the Steelers. I know he transitioned over to safety due to injury, but a lot of people don't really know that he was a really great corner. He's a 7-time Pro Bowler. And like I said, he switched to safety at the end of his career due to injury. That's my number 3, Rod Woodson from the Steelers. Number 2, I have cornerback Darrelle Revis from the New York Jets. I love the way he played. Darrelle, Revis Island, nobody wanted to throw to him. I mean, his stats say it. He was 145 games with 29 interceptions and 3 touchdowns for pick 6. And my number 1 is primetime Deion Sanders. 14 seasons. I gotta say, Ozzy, I probably took your thunder away, but Deion Sanders, 14 seasons with 2. What do you have? He was a 2-time Super Bowl winner, and he was just, even though he played with 49, he was awesome. Primetime, man. I mean, Jesus, that was the guy. So I got them. I got Woodson, Revis, and Sanders as my 3 corners.
Let's see, Marty, go ahead, boss.
All right, I'll go 3-2-1 as well. Number 3, Champ Bailey. Started his career in Washington in the big trade for Clinton Portis out to Denver, but that didn't stop him. I mean, 12 Pro Bowlers, All Pro, 52 interceptions, career interceptions. My number 2, again with Cousin Vinny, Revis Island, 29 interceptions only, but 4-time All Pro. I mean, and he just didn't get the opportunities. No one wanted to throw his way. And number 1, this might shock you guys, but I'm going to go with Deion Sanders. I do remember him. It shocked you, yes. I do remember him playing super late in his career, especially with the Baltimore Ravens when he was like 37 and he had a pick 6. And, I'll count that because I know he was great, and I'll give him his props.
Well, I have nothing to say. They took all my guys, Woodson, Bailey, and Sanders. That's it. I have nothing else. Those guys are.
You had Bailey at 2?
Huh?
You had Bailey at 2?
I had Woodson. I had Deion number 1, Woodson 2, Bailey 3. Bailey's good, but
Oz was gonna have Deion
in those
number
top
1.
3.
You know
was
that.
Darryl Green. That was the only other guy I thought of. Darryl Green, because when he played for Washington, he was their main shutdown guy, and he shut everybody down. He was a small guy in stature, but he had like 54 interceptions during his career. The guy was 7-time Pro Bowler, I believe. He was good for Washington at the time. But those are the 4 guys overall, because being they took my 3, I had to talk about somebody. So Darryl Green would be my 4th guy, I guess.
Kenny's going to say Jason Sehorn. Go ahead, Kenny.
Of course, Ozzy just said Darryl Green. So I was hoping to get some Darryl Green. But 3 would be Bailey, 2 would be Deion, 1 would be Darryl Green. But a little fun story about Darryl Green. We had Stephen Baker, wide receiver for the Giants, on our show, and one of the questions we asked him was about Darryl Green, about is he and he pretty much said yes. We asked him if he was the fastest and toughest defensive end that he's ever faced. He said yes, fastest, toughest, no, but the nicest guy you'll ever meet. If you ever made a play on him, he would just come up to you, pat you on the back, and say, "I'll get you next time." Great play. And he was, for that reason alone, makes me want to put him number 1 because of the type of person he is. But just watching him on the field, the guy was lightning quick. I mean, there was no stop. You weren't making more than 1 or 2 plays against the guy, from what I remember of him in his career. And he played until I think he was like 40 years old.
Yeah, he was I was gonna say that because he was the fastest guy in the NFL, I think, until Dion came in, and he was a monster. He played like 30 years, and he never went to a different position. He played. I think maybe his final 2 years he tried to go to like free safety or something, but he played like 16 years at corner, and he started. He was a monster. I love putting him up there. I changed it a little. Yeah, Dion's number one. I love Dion when he was on the Atlanta Falcons. I played for the Manchester Falcons, so I used to have my Atlanta starter jacket. Prime time was my favorite. Him and cross-eyed McGuire playing on the other corner spot position. I mean, they were one of my favorite squads. But I was tossing and turning with Rod Woodson. He was a monster over there in Pittsburgh. But I went a little different. I went with my two with Revis. Not, he held probably some of the top guys under 100 yards. He held Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss. He held these guys to under 100 yards plenty of times. I think Stevie Johnson from the Bills might have been one of the only receivers who gained over 100 yards on him. But besides that, he was shutting everybody down, so his numbers aren't as good. So I went with Revis at number 2. And my third guy, I changed. I went with Charles Woodson. Guy played in the league for another 32 years. Like, he ended up going to free safety.
32 years.
I try to give Woodson some love. If not, I would have went with Rod Woodson. I mean, Charles Woodson. I went with him as my slot guy or my third guy. If not, it would have been Woodson or Green. I mean, those guys to me were just monsters. All right. We're going to get a totally different answer from Marty on this one. Strong safety. Who'd you have, Vinny?
Oh man, I went with two of them. So my number 2 guy would be Troy Polamalu. The guy he wasn't the biggest guy, but if you watch him play, man, for Pittsburgh, there's some videos you can watch on YouTube, Marty, that if you haven't seen him play, you probably have because it's probably your age range. But the way he times stuff on the line, man, the snap timing and how he would just jump the timing. The guy was just a beast, and all you see was his hair flaying around. He was one of the best safeties to me. But number 1 for me is probably before your time also, Marty, is Ronnie Lott. This is one of the best safeties I think we're gonna put out there. I mean, this dude, I believe, broke his finger, and he was telling them to cut it off so he could go back into the game type player. He had 63 interceptions. He played for the 49ers, Raiders, Jets, and the Chiefs. But I remember him also as a 49er, one of the best safeties there ever will be, toughest guy. When you come out there and say, hey, your finger's broke, and he says just cut it off so I can go back in, that's one of the best players you can imagine.
Yeah.
Hey, Marty.
Those are my 2.
My 2, number 2 would be Sean Taylor. Career cut short, unfortunately, but he could have played both positions, and he did play both safety positions. I'll put him as my second strong safety. He was a linebacker back there. And my number 1, I do remember him, Cousin Vinny, Troy Polamalu. Like you said, that hair flying around, jumping over the center, timing it. He was great for Pittsburgh. Being local to Baltimore, only 45 minutes away, I know that a lot of folks hated playing against him. So Troy Polamalu would be my number 1 at strong safety.
Go ahead, Oz.
All right, one of my safeties would be Steve Atwater from the Denver Broncos. Back with the Orange Crush days, him and Dennis Smith were back there running the show, and they were 2 of the best safeties during their time. He was an 8-time Pro Bowler. He had 24 interceptions during his career. He was a hard hitter. He was the original Troy Polamalu. Maybe a little bit better than he was, but he was one of the best ones at this time. And the other guys, Ronnie Lott, like you said, arguably the best safety I've ever seen play in my time because I got to see him play. I know there's others that were harder hitters than he was. One who played for the Oakland Raiders, but I won't name just in case Kenny might name him because I keep naming the guy before he says anything. So those are my 2 guys that I think are the best safeties out there.
Go ahead, Kenny.
I'm just gonna go Troy Polamalu like everybody else. The guy hit hard. He wasn't afraid of anything, and he was more than just hair. He was a good player. Not just those Head and Shoulders commercials, even though they're pretty funny. But I'll take Troy Polamalu as my number one. If I had to go to number two, I would go. I'd throw Ed Reed in there.
Ed Reed,
The Ravens.
All right,
That
so I
dude was a
guess
beast as well.
you guys did just safeties. I kept my strong safety and a free safety, so I'll just do it like that. Strong safety, Mark Kelso, best safety out there.
Mark
Big
Kelso.
helmet. No.
Kazoo? Kazoo, what are you talking about?
Ozzy's the only one who knows Mark Kelso. What's wrong with you guys? Come on.
Yeah, the Giants.
Anyway,
Everybody knows the Giants.
no.
I was just in
Ronnie
shock.
Lott.
Like, Jesus.
No, Ronnie Lott would be my strong safety. The guy was a monster. Like Vinny said, listen, anybody out there is like, yo, take my finger off. I don't care. Even though it wasn't his whole finger, it was like the first part. But still, he didn't care. He's like, just cut it off.
Any part of your body, Will. Any part of your body.
Knuckle down, Will. His knuckle down. That's still close to your finger, bro.
And to just go out there and keep playing. That guy's a monster. He's a beast. He was the one. He said, I always pictured myself going through the person I'm tackling. You can't take it away from him. And like Kenny said, I don't know, Ozzy and Kenny and I seem to be on the same page. For my free safety, I would have went with Ed Reed. That guy's a monster. He's out there. He has so many. I don't know if he leads for interceptions. The guy just knew where to be at all times. He was part of that.
He was coaching the Bills. Is he still part of the coaching staff? I know he was coaching for the
Not
Bills.
there. I think he went somewhere else. But
Okay.
he was part of that Ravens defense that were just a bunch of monsters, and they were just ripping people. He had that old school mentality.
I do want to mention one guy that nobody mentioned that would be a team captain if I had an all-time team, and that's Pat Tillman.
Pat Tillman.
What he did for our country, leaving the NFL and tragically losing his life in combat, he would be a team captain in any team that I,
The one guy I would have put out there that nobody put was John Lynch. Ozzy said Steve Atwater. Atwater was a beast, and Smith was a beast. Those were two. If you ask a lot of those running backs back in the day, they would say those were the two hardest hitting safeties.
Which is the one that spit in somebody's face? Was it Lynch? It was Lynch, right? He was like spitting in people's faces.
John Lynch was a monster too.
He was dirty.
He was laying pops on people. He was nasty. That whole team was nasty. Well, not dirty, but nasty.
Before our time, they said Jack Tatum was like a monster. They used to call him the assassin.
Hold on. Who?
Jack Tatum, the assassin.
Oh. Yeah.
From Oakland Raiders. He was the beast back in his day. He was like, everyone was scared of him, Jack Tatum.
Wasn't he the guy who hit somebody and killed them?
I don't know if he killed anybody, but I know he was fierce. People were afraid of him during the game, Jack Tatum, back in the days for Oakland.
I remember there was a player who hit somebody, and I think they killed a player on the field.
I don't know. Maybe it was him. I'm not sure. He was the hardest hitter they said ever to play the game.
But back then, it was different.
Yeah, no rules.
There was no rules. You could clothesline people. You could hit them in the head. It didn't matter. You were just trying to take somebody out. All right, real quick.
Kickers, it was Vinatieri, right, for the kicker?
I'd even take a kicker or a punter.
Yeah.
I guess
so my kicker would be
Scott
Norwood. Scott Norwood would be my kicker.
No, you need to stop it.
You need to stop it. You cannot be my co-host no longer.
Yep.
You're gone.
I had to give Vinny his job back. I had to give it back.
Short-lived. Marty, plug your show.
Yeah, guys. It was a great time here going through with you guys. Again, Intercept Your Lunch. We just did a UFC preview for this weekend. Conor McGregor's back in the octagon. So if you guys like that, check it out. Check us out on YouTube.
Twitter, who you got? Wait.
Instagram. I got Conor McGregor. I got Conor McGregor,
oh,
man. He's my dude. I don't know. He's an underdog. Poirier took it to him pretty good last time, so we'll see. But I'm gonna have to.
It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, it will be. It will be.
Ozzy doesn't have a show. We're trying to get him to do a cowboy show, but we'll see if that happens.
I have to find some cowboy people.
you get chomps. Kenny, plug the shows because you have plural shows.
Real quick, K&K Sports Show Wednesday. Wednesday 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We focus
Great
on
show.
All the pro sports and college sports. Fun times. Thursdays, we do a show called Wits and Wagers right before Viva Los Bills. So it's a nice little Thursday lineup on the I-95 network.
Yes, sir.
We do We give you some bets, kind of like what Marty does with Intercept Your Lunch a little bit. And then we play some games. That's the wits part of the show. We do some games with their segments there. Football season comes up. We'll do a lot of fantasy football as well. And then Kurt, my co-host, and his wife Jen do a high school sports show themed on the high school students, teams, coaches. They just had somebody from Idaho, coach from Idaho, a couple weeks ago. They do a great time, great show. If you know anybody, email them at allinonhighschoolsports@gmail.com. You can catch all the shows also on I-95 Sports Network and Zingo TV.
All right, Vinny, you can plug your new show.
I used to do a show called Viva Los Bills with my ex co-host Will Colon. But you can find Will Colon on Twitter at Viva Los Bills, on the Facebook group Viva Los Bills, and you can subscribe with Will on YouTube at Viva Los Bills.
Yeah, right here. Boom. Viva Los Bills.
Oh.
Follow us on Twitter. Join our Facebook group and our YouTube page, Viva Los Bills. And I want to thank you guys for joining Vinny and I. Maybe one of you guys will pick up Vinny for one of your shows.
Hey, I like MMA. Marty, get me in. I'm a real big MMA fan, so you could.
Gotcha.
Good.
Gotcha.
See, bye, Will. Bye, Will.
Marty,
I got a job already. Will, look at that.
Your lunch, Vinny, or Marty.
Yeah, I wanna do an NFL preview, so I'll get you guys on that one here soon.
All right, sounds
Awesome,
good.
man.
Listen,
Yeah,
everybody out there watching
for all you guys, you don't have to get invited from us. You guys can come on anytime you want on any of our shows.
Same here, guys. Same here, man. Appreciate it, Ken.
thanks. And we'll have you guys on again. Everybody watching, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Guys, thanks for joining us. And as always, go Bills. Adios. Nos vemos. Until next time, guys. Adios.